Today, I have the great honour and pleasure of speaking with Cathriona Hallahan, who's the Managing Director of Microsoft Ireland. And we will chat today about digital transformation in a post-COVID world. Hi, Cathriona. How are you today?
Hi, Patricia. I'm great. Delighted to be with you.
An absolute pleasure to have you here, Cathriona. So first question for you today, Cathriona, is where are you located and what's been keeping you sane over the last few months of lockdown?
Patricia, I'm located up in Kiltiernan, so I have the luxury of being in the mountains. And I've taken on Dr. Ciara Kelly's challenge of 100 days of walking. So today is day 27, and I've got out in snow, rain, hail over the last couple of weeks, but it's been a great way for me to keep my mental health in check.
Great, and getting out is so important. So Cathriona, let's jump in right in. So Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella said back in March 2020 that there was 2 years worth of digital transformation in just 2 months. So has this been the experience here also in Ireland?
Absolutely, Patricia. I think the COVID-19 outbreak has just been an unprecedented event, and it continues to impact all of our communities and business here in Ireland. Our frontline workers are really faced with challenging times. We have our children at home working or doing their schoolwork from home, and all of us are working remotely to try and protect everybody. And then you have our social services and charities really struggling with how do they provide services to those most vulnerable in society. So I think our biggest learning here in Ireland and globally has been that no business is immune to this crisis. No organisation can be 100% resilient either. But it has also taught us that digital businesses or people who have implemented digital capabilities have been able to pivot much quicker and respond to their customer needs. You know, the speed here as well as everywhere in the globe, as Satya says, our public and private sectors have really embraced technology in a remarkable way. The trend is continuing. We're seeing that acceleration. And we're at an inflection point where the old ways of doing business will no longer suffice. You know, organizations have to be fast adopters of technology if they really want to hit head on the economic challenges that they're facing. And our first priority has been about connecting our customers with their employees, with their own customers, to make sure that they continue to run their business. And a great example of that has been how Mayo County Council has used the Microsoft Teams technology, not just to connect their 1,300 staff that they have to deliver their service, but they've also created a COVID-19 helpline to connect residents and communities across the county to provide those services, which I think was really innovative of them to see a public service body moving fast and also being so innovative.
And actually that leads perfectly into the next question, Cathriona, because I was just wondering, has digital transformation played an important role also in shaping societal response to COVID-19?
Absolutely. I mean, I think, you know, technology will play a critical role in helping an inclusive economic recovery, so that we're committing to deploy that technology and help everybody in society. So it's an equality point. But, you know, as a company, our commitment extends far beyond that, because as a technology leader, we know we can do more to help society. So we've mobilized across the company to partner with medical researchers to give them access to advanced AI technologies and expertise. We've expanded our support for nonprofits who are at the front line to help communities respond and recover. And here in Ireland specifically, we've put the power of technology and the skills of our own people to use to ensure that we're getting the greatest possible support for those who need it most. At the onset of the pandemic, for example, Enable Ireland service users were left without any access to vital services. So some of our team of volunteers came together and helped Enable Ireland leverage Microsoft Teams to create those vital services in a virtual way. And what that's done is that it started as a pilot in their Dublin service centre, but now they've rolled it out nationwide. And Enable Ireland said they are able to touch service users in parts of the country that they would never have been able to access. And it's been transformational for them. We also leveraged our Microsoft Surface devices and gave 80 devices into the Bernardo's staff. And that has meant that they've been able to ensure that 800 children and families can continue to avail of life-changing supports at a time when they need it most. And I think the one that I'm most proud of is our dream space, where we had primary and secondary school children coming to our building, which we miss so much, and really pivoted to be able to give supports to parents and teachers who are navigating this challenge of remote learning. And we've turned on Dream Space TV, which is now giving primary and secondary school students access to STEM and helping them with coding, computational thinking, designing technology for good, and really giving supports, webinar supports for parents and teachers to continue that learning journey, which I think is fantastic.
How wonderful, Cathriona. And I am sure our audience will have a lot of questions. I can see the questions already popping up on my screen. We're going to have lots of questions around that. So please don't forget to submit your questions if you have one, because I'll get to the ones that I'm getting here first. So Cathriona, I suppose last question in our first kind of part of this series is I suppose around how we can maintain this pace of digital transformation in a post-COVID world, so that everyone can participate.
I think that's a great question, Patricia. I mean, people and organisations have embraced technology at speed, as we said, but in order to maintain that pace, I think Ireland needs to think about lifelong learning as a reality for our workforce, because they need to be building skills, not just for today, but for the jobs of tomorrow. And this forced lockdown and restriction has resulted in a rapid emergence of new employment opportunities, whether that's digital marketing to cloud services, customer experience and engineering. So those jobs of the future are quickly becoming a reality today. And in parallel, then, we've seen all of these thousands of people who've been displaced from jobs across hospitality, retail, tourism sectors. So for some of them, that's only temporary, but for others, people who had a desire to build a skill in a particular industry may not be able to do that now. So at Microsoft, we want to provide access to in-demand skills, particularly for those who have been most impacted by COVID-19. So we announced a global skills initiative in June, with a target to try and help 25 million people globally to get these new digital skills. And then locally on the ground, our education team and training are working with government and training communities to try and reimagine the supports that we can give to people who are impacted in Ireland. And then connectivity is the other thing. So you say it's great if we can give skills, but if people can't connect, what are they going to do? So we've also partnered with the Department of Rural Community Development and the LGMA to roll out an airband pilot, which uses TV whitespace technology to give free broadband to second level students from disadvantaged backgrounds in the most remote areas of the country, so that they can continue to do their senior cycle education. So trying to be diverse in how we're trying to impact and support all those who are vulnerable in society.
I think your closing line says it all. That's exactly what I was thinking. Such diverse impact across every sector in Ireland and the world, and globally. So that's incredible what you've been doing. So thank you very much for that insight. We have so many questions coming in for you, Cathriona. I'm going to try and moderate them and try and get through as many as possible in the last half of this. So actually, I might start with a kind of a personal question in terms of I suppose my own research, which has moved into the area of artificial intelligence and machine learning. So Microsoft has obviously put a lot of into cloud technology, and I'm sure that's really supported the response so far. But I suppose I just want to understand your vision on where cloud, AI, machine learning technologies will help shape the future, not I suppose in a post-COVID, but the future globally.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right. It's not just a post-COVID. Our industry, all industries were changing, and this new technology was really impacting everybody. But I think, every person on the planet, and COVID transcends every border in the world, and we've seen that. And technology can play a critical role, I think, for addressing some of the COVID issues initially, from using AI to crunch massive data sets, analyzing disease vectors, to really identifying treatment impacts. We are collaborating with nonprofits, government and academic researchers on solutions for that, and to bring our experience to the table, providing Microsoft AI technical experts as well as data scientists. Advancements in technology are making AI even more powerful and impactful and prevalent, and the pandemic has accelerated that. We're seeing more than half of Ireland's public sector bodies, for example, introducing AI into their organizations. People would have thought that would never happen. And AI is offering significant opportunities for businesses and organizations in Ireland to accelerate innovation, drive efficiencies, and meet the future demands of the customers. So one example of that is the National Transport Authority, and they're using AI and machine learning to gain insights into the data to inform better decisions around infrastructure planning, budget allocations, and provision of public transport solutions. So our vision is that every organization in every industry can turn on that meaningful innovation to help them get ready for the future and reimagine what that future will be for a sustainable world. And one of the great examples of that is in December here in Ireland, we launched a project with Science Foundation Ireland called Terrain AI, and it's a project around climate, because everybody's worried about having a sustainable planet. And in collaboration with Maynooth University, the project is going to focus on improving our understanding of human activity on land and how they use the land and how that relates to climate change. We have 14 test sites that will help us look at how do we reduce carbon levels globally, and the insights and models that we develop here in Ireland will be used in other countries across the globe, because having that sustainable reducing carbon emissions is such an important initiative for Microsoft, but for all of us.
I actually was thinking that for absolutely every one of us in the world, that's such importance. That's fascinating, Cathriona. And actually, there is so many questions coming in around that. But you've actually answered them already. One very quick question that you might be able to answer is: are Microsoft developing VR tools, virtual reality tools?
Yeah, I mean, we have our own headset that we've we have a team here in Dublin who specialize specifically in that area of engineering and development. So it's definitely something we're seeing industries, manufacturing industries, airline industries using virtual reality, and our solution to that is HoloLens. So it's a very exciting area that I think we'll see more of in the future.
I'm sure. I'm absolutely sure. So unfortunately, we're kind of running out of time. So there's a lot of questions coming in around, obviously, with the audience that's on today, around digital transformation in third level institutions, obviously, such as UCD. And how should we be thinking or implementing digital transformation in our organizations?
Yeah, I think in today's landscape, higher education institutes really need to reimagine the campus experience. Technology will play a critical role in that transformation, but I think offering more relevant, affordable, flexible education offers. We talked about that lifelong learning earlier, and trying to engage student populations and ensure that learning activity is accessible to everybody, regardless of where they're located and their learning style. And we've seen that can work. We've had to embrace it. So for digital transformation to be effective, I think an institution needs to really look and analyze and design and develop a future vision for change for what education will look like. And we're supporting third level institutions to try and achieve that by driving innovative student engagement. How do you use technology to do that? How do you transform your operations on the campus? And then how do you ensure that you have a secure, connected campus so that you can empower that reimagining of education, which is really exciting.
Great. Well, what a way to finish reimagining education, and it kind of completely aligns with our strategy in UCD of rising to the future. So thank you so much, Cathriona. Unfortunately, we are completely out of time. So sincere apologies to those of you whose questions I didn't get to. I just want to take this opportunity now to say an absolute huge thanks to Cathriona.
Thank you, Patricia. My pleasure.
Oh, an absolutely fascinating discussion today. Thank you so much. And thank you to everyone for joining in. You can sign up at zoomforthought.ie, sign up to the series, where you can also check out our list of upcoming speakers for 2021. So just to wrap up, thank you so much again, Cathriona, and thanks everyone. Have an absolutely great day and see you all next week on Zoom for Thought. Thank you very much.
Bye all.
Bye.